a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We got Lee Roy Selmon Jr. Going to be joining us on the program today, talk about USF football, USF Collective, and NIL, and also a little bit about his father's legacy, the great, late and great Lee Roy Selmon, former Buccaneer, Hall of Famer as well, right here in Tampa Bay on the Tampa Bowl there at the Raymond James. We're going to jump into that here in just a minute. Before we do, I want to let you know about our next event. You can come out and meet with us. It's going to be Thursday, April 18th. 6 o'clock over at Brio Tuscan Grill. This is our monthly gratitude party. We're doing a third Thursday monthly gratitude party where we're meeting up with our radio show listeners, all of our folks out there that support the show and listen to the programming, and also our radio show personalities, business partners, real estate team, and more are going to be there. We had a great turnout last time. We're expecting a great turnout this time. Thursday, April 18th, 6 o'clock over at Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall. Brio's located at 2223 North West Shore Boulevard at the Tampa International Mall. Come on out and join us and do some networking with us. There's going to be free appetizers there, appetizers and food provided, and there's also going to be a cash bar available for you as well. So Brio Tuscan Grill, let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, let's jump into it. We got Lee Roy Selmon Jr. on the phone line. And Leroy, thanks for taking some time for us today, calling in to the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Hey, Brandon, I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, man, my pleasure, and thanks for calling in. And tell us, let's give a little background here in case there's some folks out there. I know a lot of people in Tampa Bay know who your father was and the family legacy and so many things that he accomplished. Give us a little background, on that.
Well, I tell you what, my father, came from a family-oriented background. Obviously we have Oklahoma ties, and he played football with two of his brothers, my uncles, and pretty much ingrained sports into our entire family, and kind of what sports can do from a character perspective, and he moved his family moved down here when he got drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in '76, first draft pick, and decided to plant stakes here, and had me and my brother and my sister and his wife, and we created a nice little family unit down here in the Sunshine State. And since then, he's after football, he got involved with USF and was a key part of getting their football program up and off the ground, and really put a pretty decent staple, I think, in the Bay Area. Just trying to focus on our youth as far as our kids in college and our aspiring kids who are looking to go to college and what they want to do after sports. So he loved this community. The community loved him as well, and it was just great to have him as a father and a man to look up to.
Yeah, I imagine it's such a key element of society, is having that father figure in the household, and you had a great one, and fortunately for myself, and a lot of families, they do. Unfortunately, a lot of families don't, and I know Coach Tony Dungy. That's one of his big things that he's a part of, is All Pro Dad, helping out families in the Tampa Bay area. What's your thoughts around that? Having that father figure in the household.
Well, I tell you what, it's a blessing to not have to look further than your front porch to find somebody that to look up to, and having my father raise myself as well as my brother and sister, and having him in our lives, he definitely instilled principal values, things that can't be that should not be taken lightly and should be more ingrained in what we're doing today in our daily lives, and that's to love each other, a faith in having faith in our Lord and Savior, and just carrying what his principles each and every day, and allowing him to be in control. And that's what he always taught us was, one, do your best every day, and don't take anything for granted. know where your blessings come from, and then also give back. And, that's what, my father was all about. And just like Tony Dungy, a stand-up guy who's always given back to his community, he was the same, had the same kind of principle and mindset. He's instilled that in us, and that's what we try to do on a daily basis is remember him in that regard. And what else can we do, not just for ourselves, but for others and for our neighbors.
Great message. I love that. Lee Roy Selmon Jr. here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. Now, we both played for University of South Florida. I was on the inaugural team, basically in the inaugural year there, 96, 97, and kind of made an exit before, it got heated up there at Raymond James, or the old stadium, the old Sombrero. What are some of your memories going back to your years there at University of South Florida?
Well, I tell you what, I want to say I was probably there, and I'll say, and I'm probably just obviously biased, but, it was during the best times. I remember, and you remember, because I came in 2 years after you did, the roots of where everything came from, and we depended on each other. It's a different game now as a whole, and the program itself has grown exponentially, since we have been there. But there's something about, having your meetings in trailers and, and living off campus, and having your meeting rooms inside of dorm room facilities. And, it was something unique, obviously, that we got to experience. And I tell you what, I think we because of that, it gave us a little bit of an edge on our competition. We had a little bit more, we had a lot of camaraderie, I think. We spent a lot of times together because we didn't have anything else to do. It's like, let's be, here, let's just hang out together. And, when we're not in practice, not on the field, let's focus. Here's our chance to really, make a statement and to be a part of a building block, that the future is limitless on. So it was a fun time for sure. Made a lot of great friendships. You and a lot of other teammates that I still keep in connection with now. And it was just a unique time that I'm glad to look back on. And it's the relationships that I've built through the program that I've been able to carry with me has been a highlight in my life for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Some really good stories there. It's so funny to look at the facility now versus the facility back then, and as you mentioned, the mobile home trailers and the film room and these little squeaky floors, and oh man, it was some really good times. I remember having Coach Levin on the show, and he was talking to Mark Stoops, so I believe is now still the coach over at Kentucky. UK head coach, who's been doing a good job up there. But he said something like he told Mark, hey, we got to clean the toilets, and because there was no budget for much of anything else. And Mark was frustrated. He said, I'm not cleaning the toilet. He said, come on, I'll do it with you. Come on, I'll get down there and do it with you. And that's why I love Levitt. It's one of the reasons I love Coach Levitt is that, just in general, just his work ethic. He seemed like a genuine guy, and he took the team to number 2 ranking. What year was that when USF was ranked number 2 in the nation?
Yeah, that was 2007, if I recall correctly. Got to number 2 for 1 week, but we got there, number 2 in the nation.
Yeah, hey, that's an accomplishment.
And it's a huge accomplishment. Definitely got us on the map. It got the nation's attention, right? And really put it out there, like, hey, there's more to Florida football than FSU and Miami.
That's right. And one of the only schools to really beat all of them except, I think, the Gators, right? So USF beat FSU and Miami, but I don't think we've beaten the Gators yet.
We have not pulled their card yet.
That's right. We're talking with Lee Roy Jr., Lee Roy Selmon Jr., that is, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Leroy, what about the current state of affairs with USF football? And I know now that NIL, the name, image, likeness, has come into play. We have launched a USF collective. How can people out there get involved and help out if they want to see USF get back to number 2 or number 1 ranking?
Well, I tell you what, it's going to take the community. It's going to take more than just heavy recruiting and getting these guys in. The other part of it is going to being able to retain these guys, and I've had several conversations and been in meeting rooms with different staff members on the athletic program, and that's the reality of it. It's like, hey, we got a job to do. We have to win games, right? That's what we are here for. That's what we're bringing the program. That's what we're bringing to the program. Recruiting guys and doing our part and getting guys that want to be here, and we're going to win football games. And that really showed itself this past year. I was very impressed with the performance and just that first year of Coach Golish being at the helm. But he said that. I was at a collective meeting when he spoke, and I said, I believe him. That is, it's going to take more than he's going to do his job, but as a community, we're going to have to do our jobs as well. And that is, back up our Bulls country, and and it doesn't take a whole lot. It's not something that is long term, or you have to, you can do one time or whatever, but every little bit counts. And it also lets your team know, your home team know that you're backing them up and that you're supporting them and you want to, see them be successful.
Yeah, and I know, Lee Roy, you probably heard about the interview or maybe seen it or heard it, but it was Saban. He was mentioning how him and his wife would bring over the athletes over to his home, Nick Saban over at Alabama. And they would, a lot of times the conversation would be about, hey, we're going to help your son build his character and become a man and a person and a well-rounded person. And then his wife says something to the effect that, yeah, we're tired of this. All they want to know is how much you're going to pay them. So I don't know if you caught that or not, but yeah, what's your thoughts around that?
Well, that is basically what we're going to see more of, as the NIL is obviously in effect. Full effect now, and it's going to continue. College football is now, it's always been, but now it's a business sense,
right?
And kids nowadays are looking at, hey, not trying to make it to the NFL necessarily, but trying to make it to college and position themselves at a university or a program that is also going to help them, financially get prepared for life after football, which is going to happen regardless. That, at some point in time, your career is going to be over.
Yep.
Guys are going to be wanting to take full advantage of it at the college level, and start there. So it's definitely, kind of changed the outlook, I think, when you're talking about recruiting, and when you're talking about, the players that are coming there and their expectations. And, with the collective, with the NIL, and then as well the capabilities to transfer and do those things, it's definitely going to the coaching staff now, they have a lot on their plate, to be able to retain, not only recruit but retain these guys. Yeah. And it's going to be challenging. It's going to be, we've already seen a little bit of it, after this first year with multiple transfers and things like that. And that's going to be one of the things that, you never know who's going to be number one or number two or number 10 coming into the next year, right? Yeah. It's going to be, well, what does the team look like, coming into fall? Like who's still left, who's, transferred out and gone here and there, So it's definitely kind of changed the dynamic for sure.
Yep. And I know I was listening to, I think, Senator Ted Cruz podcast, and he was talking about how, they're bringing it to committee. They're trying to figure out a way to make it a fair playing ground, because when you have the big schools, the Alabamas, the Miamis or Floridas, whoever, these big schools with big budgets, Ohio State, they're going to have big budgets. They're going to be able to throw more money around. I don't want to see it turn into that. It's, final thought back to you. I know you got to get going. You got a hard out here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's your thought around that?
Well, we already saw it, right? We saw a little bit of it last year, when we had two transfers that basically, did a phenomenal job over at Colorado, underneath Deion Sanders.
Yep.
And, that's going to be like you said, retaining these guys is going to be the key, because they're going to get looks. Once you start beating teams that you technically shouldn't have been beating. Well, how did you beat them? Oh, this is, look at that guy there. Look at this guy here. And the eyes are going to be on them. And, it's hard to, it's going to be hard for young guys to look away from a that kind of opportunity. If it's like, hey, I can, make a move here and also make, a little bit more coin, So it's like I said, it's going to be interesting to see. I think obviously as a community here, if you love USF football and, you enjoy going to the games and enjoy seeing, top tier athletes and winning and going to bowl games, we're obviously going to have to have a way to keep these guys here and keep them happy and keep them focused on USF. And I think most of the guys are, and most of the guys, they all want to be here. I think the slogan is "Stay in the Bay."
Yeah.
And these guys want to stay in the Bay. And they have a great coach that is really cultivating relationships with them, and they definitely got a strong family unit. You can tell just by watching them be around each other and the staff. There's a lot of camaraderie there. So just kind of have all the pieces of the puzzle in the right place.
Right on. Go Bulls. Lee Roy Selmon Jr., thanks so much for spending some time with us here today. Lee Roy, appreciate you.
Absolutely. Always glad to have her. Thank you.
All right, we'll catch you next time, too. We'll get you back on in a couple months or something like that. Appreciate you.
Hey, got it. Let me know.
Thanks, man. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk with Alex Lima, BlackBelt Fitness and Martial Arts. We're going to continue talking about this positivity mindset. Also, the eclipse, with the eclipse happening, there was some Google searches that took place. It's going to be an interesting conversation coming up here with Alex Lima, BlackBelt Fitness and Martial Arts here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here, ladies and gentlemen. We greatly appreciate you. It really makes my day when you reach out to the show hotline, you give us a call, you text in, you support the show, you support the local economy. 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Also, you can submit an email through consumerqb.com. The emails come directly through to me, and we'll make sure we get right back to you. All right, we got a property at 220 Bellevue Boulevard, number 212. This one is in Bel Air. Beautiful property right here in Tampa Bay. Bel Air, Florida, highly sought after area in Pinellas County. This one is 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You have an exterior balcony, waterfront community, 24-hour gated community as well. In-unit washer dryer, golf cart friendly, and you have wonderful amenities including a restaurant, fitness center, tennis, croquet, Olympic-sized pool. And it's a great opportunity to own real estate. You have expedited access as well to the Bel Air Country Club, as well as golf, 2 18-hole golf courses. 220 Bellevue Boulevard, Unit 212, and that's in Bel Air, Florida, Pinellas County. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinumcoastalelite.com. All right, Alex Lima back in studio with me here, producer Alex Lima, and also owner of BlackBelt Fitness and Martial Arts, back on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Alex, we were talking a little bit before the show here about this eclipse last week, and you had these Google searches popping up. Fill me in on that.
Yeah, man. So, we had the eclipse. It was a total eclipse, which is very, very rare. I believe the last one that we were able to see here in Florida was in I don't want to misquote it, but I want to say 1970 something. So it's been quite a while.
Pretty rare
since we've had one. And I guess apparently people forgot that in that moment that you're not supposed to stare at the sun. So allegedly, from what I read, is the Google Analytics, almost immediately after the eclipse passed, people were Googling, why do my eyes hurt after staring at the sun? So that's the state of the world we live in. That's where we're at today, man.
I wonder why. Yeah, don't do that. And yeah, there were so many warnings too about that. But yeah, I was just working away. I had my head down working. I didn't really look at it. Did you get a look at it, or did you talk to anybody that did?
I did. So my daughter, we do some homeschooling with her, and we did this really interesting project here at the house. It happened to be a science day, which worked out perfectly, right?
Cool.
And we actually made a special device in order to look at the eclipse without burning our eyeballs out.
Right.
At least I don't consider myself the smartest man in the world, but I can work a Blu-ray player or whatever. I actually have this really cool video for, and if you're listening to us on the radio and you don't check us out on YouTube, you are truly missing out.
Yeah.
I promise you. We may not be as handsome as we sound, when you actually see us, but we do have some awesome content on there. And I want to show this video. This is actually the eclipse from the perspective of astronauts in space. If you look at the screen there, awesome. This is what they captured 2024. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this could all
Wow.
be BS and it's just CGI, and I don't know any better, but it looks amazing to me.
So NOAA goes dash
Oh, back
16
that.
satellite.
That's the satellite, the NOAA goes
Huh.
dash 16 satellite. This is from space.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. Look at our world, man. Oh, that might be an indicator there. If you guys are looking at, we may have a flat Earth.
Wow.
I don't know if it's flat, but I've always gone more towards I deny the flat thing.
Yeah.
I'm going with like a more concave shape.
Yeah.
You know, that one it's to me at least is tolerable.
Space.com. Well, I think it's
Yeah.
just the angle, but yeah, it's interesting, man. The Google
Also,
searches.
you're a non-believer then, man.
Yeah, exactly. The flat Earth theory. I don't know if I'm going for that one,
Yeah.
but it was interesting. You know, if you look at how humanity has evolved, right? I mean, who was it, Copernicus or whatever? They killed the guy because he said no, the Earth's not flat, right? Isn't that what the story was? The Earth's not flat; it's actually round or whatever it was. They ended up killing the guy because he went against what people believed back then, and I guess that was the style people would take.
Man, I reflect on that stuff deeply. We were just talking about like my deep thinking the last show. You know, for some things I feel we have evolved, and for other things I feel we have like de-evolved. We've regressed. You know, we've gone back some. As far as like we may be more like technologically amazing. You know, we have trucks that are bulletproof and run on electricity and drive themselves, and we have phones. It's basically a computer in your hand at all times.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we've lost just common sense. Like, don't stare at the sun. You know, let's be kind to each
Here's
other.
what
It's
it
very
was.
simple. Don't treat others as you wish to be treated.
I found it. Nicholas Copernicus, he's a Polish mathematician and astronomer. He formulated a model of the universe that placed the sun rather than Earth at its center. So they back in the day, they thought Earth was the center. No. The sun is huge. The sun has more gravitational pull. Therefore, all of the planets revolve around the sun. So coming up more, we're going to continue this conversation. Alex and I are going to talk about current events, positivity. We wanted to inject positivity into your day here going forward in 2024, and also a little real estate news about inflation and rates coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More with Alex Lima, BlackBelt Fitness and Martial Arts on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check us out online at consumerqb.com.
Thanks.
As you know, my wife Lindsay and I own a top 100 ranked real estate team at Keller Williams Realty. We always like to feature our listings. We're innovating in the real estate space, helping our sellers sell faster for more money, maximum exposure leading to more profit with less headaches and faster closings here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got a property at 6020 Shore Boulevard South. This is unit number 406 in Gulfport, Florida. This one's 1 bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1170 square feet, 55 plus community, and a waterfront paradise, and beautiful views outside of your window. It looks almost like you're on a cruise ship there, doesn't it?
Looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks cool, right? Like you're in a cruise ship hanging out.
It's hard to be upset at life when you have a view like that. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so you have now. This is a 55 plus community. So anybody out there, any seniors or 55 plus in our community here, hurricane rated windows. You have a sunroom there as well as a lot of stuff going on inside this community. It's a resort style clubhouse, and you also have arts and crafts, billiards room, poker room, friendly game nights, and resort style living and clubhouse here at 6020 Resort style living at 6020 Shore Boulevard South, unit number 406 from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And we also have a property at 0 Cypress Drive. Let's say you want to buy land and build your dream home on this waterfront lot in Palm Harbor. Gorgeous property here at Cypress Drive in Palm Harbor. It's a waterfront vacant property, so build your dream home. You have about 50 feet of frontage on the canal that leads out to Lake Tarpon. And again, you have Lake Tarpon there with the Tarpon Turtle Restaurant and some other attractions there as well. Great opportunity. Build your dream home. No homeowners association. And you also have ideal for boating, fishing, water skiing. 30-minute drive to TIA. And you have close proximity to Dunedin, Honeymoon Island as well. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. All right, quick shout out to Height Soft Wash as well, pressure washing company here in Tampa Bay. Ramin is the owner and he does a great job. He's cleaned my primary residence, my home, multiple times, and I highly recommend him for our other real estate properties and our whole real estate team. HeightsSoftWash.com. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. HeightsSoftWash.com, and support the local economy, folks, by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show and all of our expert contributors. All right, so Alex is in studio with me here, folks. BlackBelt Fitness and Martial Arts. We talk about positivity as well. An area that we really wanted to focus on this year is trying to rein in some of the negativity, take that negativity, flip it to a positive, and talk about, top tips for staying positive. Alex, you bat lead off on this one. How do we stay positive?
Man, I don't know if you want me to take lead on that. I'm not always Mr. Positive, but what's the reality is none of us always are. Remember,
Right.
Not to quote too much or try to date myself, but like classic hip hop. Remember Lil Jon? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I remember I saw an interview with him at the back when he was in prime time there, and he said, "Man," he goes, people come up to me in public all the time, and they want me to be like, "Okay, guy," go all hype and stuff. And he goes, he even said, nobody is crunk all the time.
right.
Nobody is on all the time.
Exactly.
And I think that's one thing to understand. I just said it actually last segment we were talking about this, all things past, this too shall pass.
Yes.
So that includes positive and negative things. You're at a high point, feeling happy, all stuff's going good. That's awesome. I am happy for you, but just know it's not always like that, right? Sometimes you're going to dip, right?
Yep.
So life is more like it's going to be like this roller coaster of up and down.
Yeah.
But the one thing to keep in mind is that it's going to pass. So,
Right.
Whenever you're like hitting bottom, like going deep into it, take some breaths, bite down and just keep moving forward. And I guarantee you it's going to evolve and change. Everything evolves and changes.
Yeah. And on that note, too, like if you're in sales, one of the things I talk about when I teach at these different classes I teach is if you win the morning, you're going to win the day. And why do you win the morning? Why do you want to wake up early and win the morning and make your sales calls or do whatever it is that you're going to do in the morning to generate leads or business? Because you have a higher energy at that time. You're just coming out of a long rest. You're coming out of your sleep. So if you win the morning, you're going to get momentum. And I love that thought of motion creates emotion, right? So when I get up, first thing I'm doing, I'm making a lot of sales calls. I'm on the dialer. I'm making calls. I'm generating leads through text messaging. I'm also emailing. I'm sharing my social videos as I'm making those calls. So I'm doing multiple things at once, and I'm creating, net time, no extra time. I'm getting a lot done early in the morning, Alex.
Yeah, I mean that's probably great for accomplishing things, and I've done that method as well. But as of late, I've focused on. I honestly feel that one of the worst things you can do when you first wake up is just grab your phone and start looking at it.
Oh yeah.
I'm a firm believer in actually. I want peace and quiet. I get my meditation in.
Yep.
And I'm basically putting my mind in like a Zen state. And then, I get my breaths, I have my coffee, and then the first thing I like to do in the morning is educate myself.
Yeah.
So I'll watch a video learning something new, or I'll read an actual book, not just skimming through the phone and stuff.
Yep.
And I'm setting my mind, I'm trying to fire up all those, neural pathways to like, okay, we're smart, we're going to think our way throughout the day. You know? And that to me is my, again, back to being subjective, right, about what success is and how to do things. That is how I win the morning, because for me, winning the morning is that I started the morning on my terms.
Sure.
Versus waking up and the first thing you do is check Facebook and something crappy that's going on in the world pops up. So now they're winning. They set the tone for your day.
Yeah.
So now you're playing by their rules.
Yep. Totally get it.
Whoever they and there are.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. My old football coach, we reconnected a year ago or so, and every morning he sends me these daily devotionals on my phone.
Nice, man.
So it's literally like a 2 or 3 minute Bible verse, quick little video, or mostly audio, and you're listening to that, and then you're getting in prayer. But yeah, that's what I do prior to getting on the phones.
There you go.
But when you're in sales like me, you got to get on the phones. So
you got to hustle.
Unfortunately. So yeah, and then I would just come back to it again, the power of focus. I go to this one a lot, because what you focus on is going to expand. What you focus on, what you think about, what you talk about, what you read about, what you see, all of that you're bringing into your life, that's going to expand. So you got to be really careful about what you're allowing into your mind, your brain, and what you're focusing on, Alex.
Definitely. We are, whatever you believe in as far as how we were created and how we're made and why we're doing on this earth or whatever, put all that to the side to the second and just stop and think for a second. No matter what, we are an energy. we're an energetic being, right? So
Right.
what I mean, like if I just shuffle my feet for a little while around the room and then I touch you, I'm going to shock you. There's electricity, right? There's energy inside of us. You wherever you focus that energy, that's going to manifest itself in ways in your life, right? So if you're watching, like, I know people like I cannot stand, and if you guys watch it, that's all on you. It's just not my thing, my mentality. Like those shows of like the true crime and this person snapped and this and that. I don't want that energy in my life. I know that it exists in this world, but I'm not going to sit there and indulge in that. Because here's the thing: me and you can maybe watch that. I won't watch it, but let's say we're watching it, and I know that, like, oh man, that's crazy. But other people, they will be inspired. They focus on that differently, and it's negative energy. So
it is.
Listen to positive music. I'm not telling you to become a hippie and hug trees and stuff. But listen to good music, take in good things, spend time around good people, and you'd be surprised how positivity will manifest in your life.
Right, exactly. Get involved with your church, serve others, do your serve days, volunteer, go to the homeless, go feed the homeless. A lot of churches have some great opportunities, and when you do that, it's going to open up your mind. You're going to say, wow, I did something good today. You're going to feel great about that. So there's some good tips there from Alex and I relating to top tips for how do we stay positive in today's environment. So, Alex, thanks for that, man.
Oh, man, anytime, bro.
Good stuff. All right, so check Alex out online. He's on his Instagram there, BlackBelt Fitness and Martial Arts. And, of course, you can go to the Consumer QB show, consumerqb.com, see links there to all of our expert contributors. And we always finish by saying we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been